Hey gang, we have simply got to have a talk about the new Lionsteel Roundhead Barlow style knife. Look at it. This is in that new era which everyone's been telling everyone, hey, start making less tactical knives that harken back to the old days but use modern materials. So hopefully this is the death knell of knives that sell for about this price in 440C and 1095. Not that there's anything too wrong with those steels, but there's nothing to say that you can't have an old school pattern with new school materials, and that's what we have right here. So Lionsteel have done a limited run of these. I'm not sure why they were suddenly so conservative, but a limited run, and I guess they're seeing how they go. So what is so cool about this? The blade. The blade is a pretty standard looking penknife style blade. This one came to me from a viewer in Jerusalem who had a self-professed, by the sounds of it, knife sharpener have a go at it, and it had left the blade edge in a little bit of a bad way. So this M390 should really be a slicing beast that should really last a long time. But sure enough, when I had an examination of it, on screen right now is the after of my work on it, it was a bit sort of half convex and just, yeah, a bit rubbish with a bit of a chip in the very sort of point. So I took it to my Tormek. I marked out where I wanted to take it back to. Original owner wanted 15 degrees per side, so I could wrangle that with my Tormek measurers. So I actually had a pretty fair go at doing like a proper knife job with this one. So I took my time. I used the 1000 stone, not the 200 stone, just so I didn't take too much steel away from this knife, because it's not mine. So if you take a little bit extra time, then you generally don't make as many mistakes. I then used some Starkey Sharp, some Starkey Blue sharpening compound, trying to get as much of a mirror as I could on the edge. I never can quite get a complete mirror with a Tormek. The leather strop is good at removing burrs and polishing up, but it's certainly no sort of Japanese waterstone. Then I used some Josco, really fine jeweler's rouge type polished stuff, and yeah, as a result, it's got a super duper sharp edge, and it certainly had sort of undone the damage that was done to poor old Ben's knife. So as a result, you've got a blade that cuts cardboard really, really well. No problems at all with cardboard. Yeah, it's back to performing, I would suggest, as it would from the factory. I've never had issues with Lionsteel's edges, so I'm guessing that this is the optimal, or this is how it comes from the factory. Perhaps I'm sure there's better edges out there, but mine is certainly an improvement on how it came. So there we go. So just testing it up against some wood there. Yep, classic grandpa style Barlow design. You can use these knives in pretty much anything. It's good for food prep, good for wood carving, good for rope. As you can see, it wouldn't be a Cedric and Ada video without cutting up some rope, would it? So there we go. Nice close-up rope cuts. Yeah, you like that, don't you, bitch? Nice. Yeah, absolutely no problems at all. It's got a really nice thin blade, and it's, yeah, I'll show the thinness of the blade soon. But after all that, the M390 classic steel still shaves the back of the palm. Got hairy palms. I don't know how that happens. I forget what my mother told me. Now, so you've got a really good looking knife here. That bolster there is titanium. The liners there are titanium. And then this version has carbon fiber. So it's like a navy colored carbon fiber as the handle material. Now you can get these in other types of materials. I've seen them in wood so far. And I think I've seen one in like a pearly type material as well. But this seems to be the more common one that gets around. So let's have a look at it compared to some other knives. I will read out the specs later, but that's an Opinel number 8 at the top. How do I know it's number 8? Someone helpfully pointed out it says so on the collar. And then a Victorinox standard Swiss Army knife. Then in opposite day land, this is the opposite knives that I've got to this, the ZT0220 and the Hardcore Hardware, and then the Spyderco Police. So some giant different knives. American Lawman above, Kaiser T1 below, which two really great basic working knives. And then you've got my Schlish, Swish, Slish, Spydercos, the Spidey Chef and the Bowie. And then you've got the little Nalaka, just because it's so damn cool. You know what, if it wasn't for this Roundhead, the Nalaka would probably be my coolest knife. That's the thickness. Open 08, Roundhead, Victorinox blade. You can see the Roundhead's a little bit thicker than both, but then you bring in this bad boy. Wow. That is the hardcore hardware. Some great details on this knife here. So everything is chamfered. Everything. Chamfer everything. That the spring is chamfered, the spine is crowned and chamfered. Everything is nice and rounded. It is a very, very well fit and finished knife. The nail pull is perfectly done, just enough to grip onto without it being a nail grabber. And then you can see some people have an issue with the screws being visible. I think that is like part of the modern take on it, you know? I mean, titanium, carbon fiber, visible screws, showing that they're open to customization, which is cool, another sort of modern thing. It's not all sealed away like you get in a lot of traditional knives. Everything's kind of pinned and stuck. You got it the way you got it kind of thing. So I'm really quite happy with the screws. I don't think they look bad either. Some people just can't get past it, but as long as they're straight and as long as they're in and as long as they don't strip out or anything like that, I can't see a problem with it. The walk and torque of the knife, which is the close, is about midway. So some knives, I've had some GECs that are really strong pull knives, so you really need to yank them out. But this one, no worries at all. Still got a very positive half stop from a good, mostly square tang. But it's definitely not a nail buster like some that I've had before. Sort of really does kill it for me a little bit. Look, overall, I don't know. I'm amazed that Lionsteel hasn't just committed to making this line themselves. I mean, it's a basic knife. It's not going to be like a super ergonomic, amazing thing. But then it's a simple handle. So simpleness is ergonomic, really, generally. It's safe enough. It's got a decent half stop that will stop the knife from folding on you. Although you got to remember, it's not a locking knife. So these sort of things are best for like EDC type pen blades. If you're going to be working at the cardboard box factory and cutting up boxes and having back pulls and stuff like that, then you might want something that locks. But for something that is obviously going for the old school look, but with the new end materials, I think they've just done so well. And I cannot see how they wouldn't have great success selling this to everyone. Collector knives is the place to get them at the moment, but I would be very surprised if we don't start seeing these everywhere else, because they are just that good. This is one of my favourite knives of the year, and it's really, really cool and really well done. Thanks very much for watching, dudes. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.